You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.
And now, World Improv Network proudly presents Community Court.
When common decency between two parties cannot solve a dispute, Community Court is there to solve the problem.
All rise for the Most Honorable Judge Kenneth Vicarro.
Oh, and don't forget Junior Cliff. Yeah, he's always here too.
And the Most Honorable Junior.
Oh, see how that recognition just calms him down?
I'll keep that in mind, Judge.
Well, he's like his papa. He likes the attention. All right. Hey, I am into fighting. I don't know if you knew that, Cliff.
No, Judge. We don't really hang out outside the courtroom.
No, we don't. We should fix that.
I'm okay with it.
Oh.
I feel like you have your life and I want to have mine. I've got a wife and a couple kids.
Yeah, well, I got a kid too. That's something we could talk about. Yeah, Junior, I'm upset too. I was looking for a friend. Guess not. All right, anyway, no, back... Court's in order. Court's in session. Oh, jeez, wow, this just got off to a bad start. I was in a good mood. Oh, man, all right, yeah, I like fighting, but I'm not going to fight today, all right? Cliff, dang, man. All right, so we got our plaintiff today. This is Blake Justicay. Blake Justicay. You, sir, identify as a homeless person.
Yeah, I live on the streets.
Sorry?
I live on the streets.
You live on the streets. So that's rough. Or,
You know, it could be better some days, but for the most part, I'm okay with it.
You cope.
I'm a survivor.
Well, you're surviving, but you ain't too happy, are you? Because I have here a co-chair, board member of the UFC. This is Dennis Wilheisen. Mr. Wilheisen, you here are in charge of the UFC, particularly in terms of the admissions board, which determines what players are eligible to compete in the league. And Mr. Justicay here is upset that you won't let not just him, but across the board, people who, as you said, Mr. Justicay, live on the streets.
I'm representing all people of the street.
And are you associated with a formal organization?
Yes, we are the SOUSA.
S.O.
Street Persons of the United States of America.
Oh.
Sousa.
Sousa. Almost like Sosa, as in Sammy, as in Chicago Cubs home run record hitter. And
I prefer to liken it to John Philip Sousa.
Is that an actor?
No, he was a band leader and composer from the early 19th century.
Oh.
Yeah, he's very patriotic.
Well, all right. I just had my own prejudices revealed to me. I was not expecting you to be so informed or knowledgeable of music figures in that capacity.
Well, I love America.
What do you
John
think?
Philip Sousa, Francis Scott Key. They're greats. Giants among composers.
Judge, what's he talking about? I don't know nothing about that stuff.
Well, that's not quite the focus of today, Mr. Wilheisen. What we're trying to get down to is, do you actually have any grounds for not permitting or, so to speak, forbidding, because you are putting up a defense, you're putting up a wall that folks such as Mr. Justicay here cannot climb over. You're saying, no, you can't fight in our league. And we're trying to figure out if you actually have any grounds for that. Otherwise, that is prejudiced acceptance.
Well, we always want nothing but the smartest athletes in a professional fighting league, and all them bums out there on the streets, they abusing their substances like that alcohol and some other things like batteries they chew on, and rat
That's
poisoning.
right. Battery chewing is rampant in
The homeless
sports.
population. Yeah, so
I don't see why the ways that I spend my free time are any business of Mr. Wilheiser's.
well,
That's a great point, sir. And I am looking at the bylaws that the UFC has in regards to who they allow into the arena, and it looks like the only determining factors here are qualifying for a physical exam, and there are certain athletic standards set. So it seems like, if I'm reading this right, that anybody who can meet these standards ought to be able to fight.
Well, the problem is that when Blake came in to sign up for a fight, we had to do the physical examination to see if he qualifies, and no one wanted to pull his pants down and check because he stunk like feces.
Well, that's
Which, Judge, if I might point out, is not part of the bylaws.
No, that's actually just part of the regular law. It is possible to we call a disturbance. This is called public disturbance, and usually we imagine drunken or obnoxious behavior, but actually anything that is qualified as an offense to the senses, in which case it would be the sense of smell. It's sort of breaking the law. I mean, it's kind of a gray area of the law, and it's not my specialty, so, but it's totally there.
Well, at the time when I entered to have passed the physical test, Mr. Wilheiser did not cite that particular ordinance in my dismissal, and I would like to present as a piece of evidence to the court. This is my certificate of passing the president's physical fitness examination.
What about Asian?
Examination?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I want to say that I just wrote here on a piece of paper a new bylaw with its 14 4-star, and clearly states that if you stink, you can't fight.
Oh, I'll show you who can't fight.
Well, that's very well articulated, Mr. Wilhausen, but that's not how bylaws or any kind of guidelines work. You're going to have to submit that to the board or whatever body is responsible for determining the rules of the UFC.
Your Honor, I wrote down another bylaw that's 14-4 silver stars, and that says I can decide who wants to fight or who can fight, clearly on if they don't look good enough. So here's the other one.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see that.
Your Honor.
But it holds no weight, sir.
Your Honor, I just wrote down one more. It's 14-4 bronze stars, and it states that if you're not of a certain height, then you don't look good on TV, so you can't fight. And Blake is not tall enough. See, Your Honor, I just wrote it down.
Yeah, no,
I'm
like
5
I said,
foot
I
one
see
and a
it.
half, and I'm proud of it. And Your Honor, I would just like to point out that the only stars that matter are the 50 white stars on a field of blue on the American flag, the country that provides opportunity for everyone. No matter who you are, you have the right to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And Mr. Wilheiser is clearly standing in the way of my pursuit of happiness in this wonderful country of ours, where I am free to live on the streets of my own free will.
Your Honor, I have one more bylaw I just wrote down. It's 14-4 gold stars and 14 gold platinum stars, and it says that if
I can't wait for this.
if you're too
Mr. Wilhausen, are you drunk right now? Are you drunk in my courtroom?
It sounds
Blake-
like he's
Blake-
been chewing on batteries to me.
Blake gave me some Duracell batteries before the court, so I chewed on them to try out to make a point to you, Your Honor, and
All right. I think I've come to a verdict. Thank you for that rousing speech, Mr. Wilheisen. And
one more thing, Your Honor, he's too smart. That's what I was trying to write down in the bylaws. See, 14 double stars and 14 platinum stars.
all right. Well, right now I'm just gonna say your bylaws seem to be formatted like a reward system in a kindergarten class. And Mr. Justice, I am gonna order that you take a shower. We actually have a wash area in the courthouse. So Cliff, if you could take Mr. Justice there, and it seems like you can't just make up bylaws like that, all right?
Yeah, but
hold on. This is my courtroom, all right?
Sorry.
Otherwise, you're going to be in contempt.
Respect the judge.
Sorry.
Right. There's nothing in your current bylaws that says Mr. Justice can't fight, and honestly, I would love to see that. So,
I'll throw down any time, Your Honor.
all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Your Honor, can you just explain real quick, because I just wrote down 4 bylaws that would keep him from fighting. So what you mean by current? They're current right now,
That's for another meeting. Why don't you have a juice box and hang out with Junior? I think you two have a lot in common. And that's my ruling. Session adjourned.
Let's go live outside the courtroom to Wilford Taylor to hear post-trial thoughts from the plaintiff and defendant. What's going on out there, Wilford?
I'm right here with Mr. Justice. Seems like you're allowed to fight now. So what do you think of that?
Yeah. I think the judge saw through. He executed the law, and he saw that Mr. Wilheisen was really, out of his element here.
And Mr. Wilheiser, sorry, could I have your attention? Stop playing with those Legos.
Okay, sorry. I just want to say that clearly the judge probably can't read because I wrote down 4 bylaws and he didn't take that in consideration, so clearly he couldn't read.
Well, it's a very interesting observation. Well, that concludes community court today.
The verdict has been made and a court of law is spoken. Tune in next week for another fascinating episode of Community Court.
Give the Wincast your suggestions via Facebook, Twitter, or the KZKO Win blog during the commercial break of a crime that needs to be solved during Truth and Justice. Next on KZKO.
You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.